California, New York, and other states are banning internal combustion engine vehicles by 2035, or that is their plan. But there is one state doing the complete opposite and banning electric vehicles by 2035. Over at wyolegislation.gov, we have a document here supporting the ban of electric vehicles in the state of Wyoming. Let's get down to business. No, this is not like an April Fool's joke. This is still January. So let's read this, and it's sponsored by a few senators and representatives from the state of Wyoming. So they're saying they're expressing support for phasing out the sale of new electric vehicles in Wyoming by 2035. Why would Wyoming be doing this? Oil and gas production has long been one of Wyoming's proud and valued industries. They are within the top 10 of highest oil producing states in the United States. The oil and gas industry in Wyoming has created countless jobs and has contributed revenues to the state of Wyoming through the state's history. And that kind of reminds me a little bit of what Akio Toyota is saying in Japan about Toyota. They don't want to kill off gas cars, largely due to protecting the jobs and the industries that have kept Japan going for so long. And by taking away those jobs, the economy could really falter in that area in Japan. And it looks like Wyoming is seeing something similar that would affect their local population. Since its invention, the gas-powered vehicle has enabled the state's industries and businesses to engage in commerce and transport goods and resources more efficiently throughout the country. And Wyoming's vast stretches of highway, coupled with a lack of electric vehicle charging infrastructure, make the widespread use of electric vehicles impractical for the state. The batteries used in electric vehicles contain critical minerals whose domestic supply is limited and at risk for disruption. And the critical minerals used in electric batteries are not easily recyclable or disposable, meaning that municipal landfills in Wyoming and elsewhere will be required to develop practices to dispose of these minerals in a safe and responsible manner. I think that's pretty true, at least in terms of today's capabilities of recycling batteries. I know a lot of the batteries are made with the intention of them being recycled, and there are multiple companies around the world, especially in the United States, like Redwood, for example, that will be recycling these batteries. Pulling up this chart right here just tells you how much more minerals have to be stripped from the earth to be put inside of an electric vehicle. This doesn't include iron, for example. They go on to say the expansion of electric vehicle charging stations in Wyoming and throughout the country necessary to support more electric vehicles will require massive amounts of new power generation in order to sustain the misadventure of electric vehicles. And I agree with that. We don't have enough power generation. And yes, more power generation is coming online, especially green power generation, but it is not enough. The United States has consistently invested in the oil and gas industry to sustain gas-powered vehicles, and that investment has resulted in the continued employment of thousands of people in the oil and gas industry in Wyoming and throughout the country. You can also say that the massive investment for electric vehicles is also bringing in tons of employment, especially with like the EV charging network that will need to be built out. That will bring on lots of jobs as well. The proliferation of electric vehicles at the expense of gas-powered vehicles will have deleterious impacts on Wyoming's communities and will be detrimental to Wyoming's economy and the ability for the country to effectively engage in commerce. And phasing out the sale of new electric vehicles in Wyoming by 2035 will ensure the stability of Wyoming's oil and gas industry and will help preserve the country's critical minerals for vital purposes. In Section 3, the Secretary of State of Wyoming transmit copies of this resolution to the President of the United States, each member of Wyoming's congressional delegation, the President of the United States Senate, the Speaker of the United States House of Representatives, and the Governor of Wyoming and the Governor of California. And taking aim at California, who is leading the ban on gas and diesel vehicles. We also have a ban coming from Washington State, New York, Massachusetts, Virginia, and the CARB states right here should also be banning gas vehicles in the next few years, or at least have a timeline of when to ban them. So do you think Wyoming will actually be able to pull this off? They could. I don't think it's going to have any dent in the system for electric vehicles. I also think that there will be plenty of need for fossil fuels into 2035 and beyond. I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'll see you guys. Shout it out in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.